Whitney Way Thor from My Big Fat Fabulous Life got TLC fans convinced that she treats her friends badly. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel My Big Fat Fabulous Life. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. In fact, they wondered if she had pushed Heather Sykes away after her mom died. Actually, some people think she might be jealous of her friend because TLC fans liked Heather so much. Now, fans wonder if they are besties anymore. Read on to find out their reasoning. My Big Fat Fabulous Life star Whitney Way Thor is a poor friend. When Glenn Thor's daughter threw a party in remembrance of her mom Babs, fans were quick to spot the fact that Heather wasn't there. While TLC fans thought it was the weirdest party ever, they also noted who attended. Most people who watched My Big Fat Fabulous Life over the years are well aware that Heather cared about her friend on the show since 2015. Mind you, they occasionally clashed, which isn't unusual with Glenn's daughter. People also wonder what's going on with Whitney Way Thor, who seemed to miss her friend, Buddy Belle's wedding. They've seen her get snarky with her business partner and friend, Jessica. That came when the MBFFL star threatened her with her job if she didn't learn aquatic exercises for a video. All in all, most TLC fans agree that she's a poor friend to those people who hang around her. MBFFL Whitney Way Thor and Heather Sykes are no longer besties. Recently on Reddit, an OP asked about Heather Sykes and the My Big Fat Fabulous Life star. In the post they wrote, "Well, it turns out that others also wonder about that. One person opined that Whitney Way Thor's original friends feel so off to me. I am wondering if they are just tired of her personality. I'd be exhausted of her too, especially knowing her for so long. Maybe they just stay around for the paycheck at this point? Just a theory. I feel like Witless hates seeing people do well in her life, and I think she's an extremely jealous person." More people seem convinced the party's over. More critics of Whitney Way Thor commented in the sub. One of them wrote, "Heather and Ashley don't have any pictures of them with Whit on Insta, but Heather and Ashley are all over each other's posts. Interesting. Actually, there's one picture on Heather Sykes' Instagram if you scroll down far enough. It came as a tribute to honor Babs after she passed away. Are you surprised that the MBFFL star seems to have experienced a cooling off with her best friend, Heather Sykes? Why do you think Whitney Way Thor avoided answering questions about Heather during a live? Let us know in the comments below, and follow us for all your My Big Fat Fabulous Life news." Whitney Way Thor and Heather Sykes had been inseparable since the early days of their friendship, their bond forged in the crucible of shared experiences and mutual support. From laughter-filled dance rehearsals to heart-to-heart conversations over cups of coffee, they had weathered life's ups and downs together, emerging stronger and more resilient with each passing day. But as whispers of tension and discord began to surface, fans of My Big Fat Fabulous Life found themselves questioning the true nature of their relationship. Was the friendship between Whitney and Heather on the brink of collapse, or were they simply navigating the inevitable challenges that arose from years of closeness? Chapter 2: Growing Pains. Like any friendship, Whitney and Heather's relationship had experienced its fair share of growing pains over the years. From disagreements over trivial matters to more serious conflicts that tested the limits of their bond, they had always managed to find a way back to each other, their connection stronger for having weathered the storm. But as they embarked on new chapters in their lives, the strains of adulthood began to take their toll, pulling them in different directions and testing the limits of their friendship. For Whitney, the demands of fame and celebrity threatened to overshadow her relationship with Heather, leaving her torn between loyalty to her friend and the pressures of her burgeoning career. Chapter 3: The Breaking Point. The final straw came when Heather made a decision that left Whitney feeling betrayed and abandoned, sparking a rift between them that seemed impossible to bridge. As rumors of their falling out began to spread, fans of My Big Fat Fabulous Life found themselves caught in the crossfire, torn between allegiance to their favorite cast members and a desire for the truth. For Whitney, the pain of Heather's betrayal cut deep, leaving her questioning whether their friendship had ever been genuine to begin with. As she grappled with feelings of hurt and anger, she couldn't help but wonder if their bond was beyond repair or if there was still hope for reconciliation. Chapter 4: A fractured friendship. As the dust began to settle, it became increasingly clear that the friendship between Whitney and Heather was irreparably damaged. Their once unbreakable bond shattered by mistrust and resentment. For fans who had followed their journey from the beginning, it was a heartbreaking realization that the people they had come to love and admire were not immune to the same trials and tribulations that plagued ordinary friendships. As social media lit up with messages of disappointment and sorrow, Whitney and Heather found themselves facing the harsh reality of their fractured friendship. For Whitney, the loss was a bitter pill to swallow, a reminder that even the closest of relationships could be torn asunder by the vagaries of life. Chapter 5. Moving Forward. As they embarked on separate paths, Whitney and Heather knew that the road ahead would be fraught with challenges, but they were determined to carve out new lives for themselves, independent of the bonds that had once held them together. For Whitney, it was a chance to rediscover herself outside of the shadow of her friendship with Heather, to embrace new opportunities and forge new connections with those who shared her values and beliefs. And as she looked towards the future with a mixture of trepidation and excitement, Whitney knew that she would always carry a piece of Heather with her, a reminder of the friendship they had once shared and the lessons they had learned along the way. Chapter 6. Reflections. As fans of My Big Fat Fabulous Life reflected on the demise of Whitney and Heather's friendship, they were reminded of the fragility of human connections and the importance of nurturing the bonds that sustain them. In a world where friendships could be fleeting and alliances ever-shifting, they were reminded to cherish the relationships that mattered most, and to never take for granted the love and support of those who stood by their side through thick and thin. And as they continued to follow the lives of their favorite reality stars, they knew that the journey ahead would be filled with twists and turns, triumphs and tribulations. But through it all, they remained hopeful that Whitney and Heather would one day find their way back to each other, their friendship stronger and more resilient than ever before.